Lisa here. Welcome back to my channel and welcome to my weekly deck reviews. I have a lot of things to talk about, so I'm just gonna jump right in. If you are new here, just a quick reminder, weekly deck reviews are the videos I put up every Sunday where I talk about what I've been working with over the past week as far as my tarot and oracle decks go, and I introduce what I'm going to be working with next week. So this past week I was working with the Haunted House Tarot by Sasha Graham, and the artwork is by Mirko Pira. I'm gonna hold the book up. So there is the name. I'm having a really hard time with the name. Oh, Pignatiel. Wait, hold on. Oh, interesting. Mirko Federici. I'm totally slaughtering your name. I'm very sorry. I apparently kind of keep trying because I'm fixated. But it also says that the collection has been edited by Pietro Aligo, and anyways, there's more names on here. But this is a Lo Scarabeo deck, so the guidebook does come in multiple languages. The part that is English is about 19 pages, and there's just like some little blurbs on every single card. The neat thing about this deck that kind of captured my attention in the very beginning is that it's a narrative style deck. So the title card looks like this. I don't know what I just called it, but it is the Tarot of a Haunted House. I think, yeah, Tarot of Haunted House. I feel like there should be a the or an in there, but that is what the backs of the cards look like. So the thing about this deck is the idea is that you're seeing a character go through this like sort of haunted house experience. The artwork is really beautiful, and it definitely tells a story. Whew, that one's confronting. I found that while I enjoyed the quality of the artwork, I enjoyed the sort of spooky feel, and I loved reading the little white book from front to back and kind of reading about like the narrative that's happening here. When I went to actually use this deck, it fell really, really flat for me. Oh, she's cool looking. I spent a lot of time looking at it. I spent a lot of time trying to use it in spreads. I used it for my daily draws, and I just kept coming back with this flat feeling of like, I don't even know how to describe it. It just felt like I wasn't connecting with it. And I don't have this happen a lot with decks, but I almost feel like this deck needed a bigger guidebook or something to pull me into this world a bit more. The little white book just wasn't, I guess, enough for me to feel this story, to feel attached to the characters in the story in a way that would make this deck feel more meaningful to me. I just was really struggling. Like, this is our Empress. Some of the cards, it's not that I had an issue with any one particular card necessarily, although I will say I am not a fan of the creepy crab spider weirdness happening here in the Five of Pentacles. But for the most part, I was fine with this. I understood what it was kind of trying to do, but it did nothing for me from a reading perspective. So I was pretty disappointed by this one, actually. And it is one that I will probably rehome. I don't see myself being excited to pull this one out again. Here is our King of Swords. No, is that King of Wands? That's King of Wands. Yeah, this is King of Wands. See, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. It wasn't working. It wasn't working. And some of these images I just really love. Like, I love this Four of Pentacles. Oh, I have a doggy. That one's Shayla. Yeah, I don't know. It did nothing for me. And I was bummed because I was actually really excited about it. But it didn't do anything for me, to the point where by about midweek, I was like, I'm over it. Like, I need something else because I'm not getting anything from this. So I actually switched out either Wednesday or Thursday. I switched back over to my Deviant Moon Borderless, which just so that I could have something that I knew would give me good readings for the rest of the week. And I really enjoyed working with this for the second half of the week. Did exactly what I needed it to do, gave me lots of jumping off points. I don't know what it is about the Haunted House Tarot. I just couldn't. I can't even properly articulate it, but I talked to a couple people about it this week, and I don't think I'm necessarily the only one that's had that experience. I don't think, like I said, I think it just needs a bigger guidebook or something to do to pull me in more. And I think maybe that was it. Yeah, I almost feel like the cards, when you look at them from in order, make more sense than when you start looking at them mixed up. That's the first thing I could think of, because when I first looked through the deck, I was like, this is great. And you can probably see more of that part of my reaction in last week's video when I introduced that I was going to be working with this deck. And this is one of the reasons why I love doing this series, because again, it's kind of where the rubber meets the road. Like, at what point does the deck actually do what I want it to do, or do I connect with it the way I need to connect with it to get meaningful readings? I had a couple client readings to do, and at no point did I feel like I wanted to pull this for my clients, which is also another really telling sort of thing. I'll at least think about it with whatever my weekly deck is, depending on the client and what the reading is, but I wasn't even like remotely tempted to reach for that one. My experience with the Oracle deck was much better. So the Oracle deck that I've been working with this week is the Halloween Oracle by Stacy DeMarco, and I don't have the, oh yes I do have the guidebook. Here's what the guidebook looks like. I didn't actually really need this guidebook very much, but I did enjoy the entries. I didn't feel like I needed to rely on the entries in the guidebook, but they're nice. I like the way it's written. I love the spot gloss on the cover of the guidebook that gives you all these like little symbols. And on the back, it's just a classy touch. It just gives the guidebook a really premium sort of feel. I love that there are little mini black and white thumbnails. I always prefer color, but that's not a big deal. And I did play with some of these spreads. So there's one here that is a jack-o'-lantern divination spread, which I played with. There is a 3-card draw, which is heart of the issue, the challenge, and the solution. Loved that. So yeah, this was really great. The deck itself, I had a lot of fun with this week because I trimmed it. So this is what the backs look like. Again, you don't have spot gloss on the back, but you do have those cute little symbols. The back design made this such a breeze to trim because I didn't need to worry about where the cut would happen on the back because it's, of course, like a repeating design or pattern. I did trim it, all the borders off, and I edged it in equal parts orange and black, and I just love that effect. I posted pictures of this, I believe, on my Instagram. Trimming any of these like sort of Blue Angel decks, I think just brings them to life. It's a very bold and colorful deck, and I really enjoyed working with it. I felt like the messages were meaningful, and it feels really delightfully seasonal, but it doesn't feel hollow or overly kitschy. It actually really seems to be an Oracle deck that you can sink your teeth into, despite the fact that there's not a ton of cards. If you saw the video I did on how I work with Oracle decks, which I will put up in the cards, I would put this in the same category as I would put, say, the Hero's Journey Dream Oracle, which I talked about in that video, or the Gaia Oracle, or the Whispers of Lord Ganesh Oracle, or any of the other sort of mass market Blue Angel style decks. It just feels, it's wonderful. It's simple to use. I wouldn't use this particular deck for more than, say, 3-card pulls. So when I worked with the Jack-o'-lantern spread, I actually used that spread with tarot. This one got some pretty good balance to it. I feel like maybe the balance was, yeah, like here's Zombie, which is control, which is a great card to have in an Oracle deck. We also have Unnecessary Fear. And a lot of times with these more mass market decks, you don't get quite as much of that balance. But yeah, I really, really enjoyed working with it. And I felt like a lot of the terms, like, okay, Skull of Darkness is blind spots. And Jack-o'-lantern is about protection. And even though this is a Halloween themed deck, I definitely think you could work with this throughout the year. And I've heard many people say that to me in either in Instagram comments or YouTube comments or whatnot. People have said they like to work with this deck throughout the year, and I can totally see that. I don't know if it'll be one that I reach for at other times of the year because it's so delightfully fall and Halloween to me, but that doesn't mean that I couldn't. I have enough Oracle decks that I probably will focus on other ones at different times, but it was fun to use, and I'm going to be using it again next week. So I really wanted to work with this Oracle deck over the 2 weeks that are closest to Halloween as just one of the ways that I pulled this into my routine, and I've really been having a lot of fun with it. And because there's so many of these like really cool skulls in here, like the Skull of Stars, the bag that I picked for this deck is this one, which has all these skulls over it. I love it. It's technically, this probably could have fit, now that it's trimmed, one of Peggy's small bags, but I really like her standard bags for Oracle decks. So that is what I have that in. And the reading cloth I've been working with over this past week is the super fun Bat Anatomy reading cloth that Peggy made. So it's got this on the one side, and it's got all these like sort of bats with, it almost looks like anatomical bat drawings. And then the back is just this funky like black and white design, which I basically never used. But it was really fun. I liked having this big bat up here in the top right, so I would kind of do my spreads so that that showed up. I didn't pull them out to show you guys, but I also was working still with the Under the Roses Lenormand deck and my rune set throughout the week. I'm just continuing to use a single Lenormand deck for the entire month, so I'll be working with Under the Roses until November. So I've got one more week with that one, and then I'll swap out and I'll show you guys that in next week's weekly deck review. But yeah, that was the reading cloth I used this week. So coming up, I am swapping out, not my Oracle deck because I'll still be working with the Halloween Oracle, but my tarot deck of the week is going to be the Halloween Tarot, and I have the one in the tin. I really was torn about whether to get this in full size or not, but I loved the tinned decks, and I don't have very many because I don't really connect with most of the tinned decks that are currently available. But this is so cute, and I thought it would just be a fun one to have in a tin, especially because the actual tin lid kind of looks like it's the kind of a haunted house kind of concept. I have to tell you, I almost pulled this out early, and that's when I knew it was time to put away my haunted house tarot and swap out to the Deviant Moon, because I was like, but I just want to work with the next one. Like, I just wasn't in it at all. This one has much more of a sort of cartoonish kind of feel. The artwork is by Kipling West, and the book is written by Karen Lee, or the concept of the deck is by Karen Lee, and the art is by Kipling West. The little guidebook, I don't know a lot about. I haven't spent any time with it yet, but it looks like there is a couple of spreads, but they look like they might be like a Celtic Cross kind of spread, and a 3 card, so nothing super like, you know, mind-blowing there. Now, the one thing about this deck right off the bat, no pun intended, is that they've changed the names of the suits. So you have the bats, which look like they are the swords. You have, oh, my cards are still kind of in order. I thought I'd shuffle these. You have your major arcanas, more bats. What are our other suits? I know there's more. Still in the bats. The imps, I'm guessing these guys are wands by the look of this card. You have the ghosts, which I think are the ghosts are the cups, or the suit of water. And what's our last suit? Oh, yes. Oh, wait, no, imps are wands. What are we missing? We need pentacles. Oh, pentacles are pumpkins. That's right, that makes sense. Pentacles or pumpkins. So you can see this deck has, I'm going to show you some more cards now that I've kind of flipped through a few of the, oh no. Have you ever done this? If you ever show decks to other people, you've done this. That was a really weird thing to say, but I put some of the cards down face up, and so when I went to go shuffle, some were face up and some were face down. That was really awkward. Okay. I love the size. Now, I've seen a lot of people have trimmed this deck, which I totally think would be, I think they've done it to the full size. I've seen people have either trimmed this deck or they've blacked out the borders. I don't know that I can really bring myself to do either of these because it's such an adorable little size. And because the artwork is so dark, I should show you some of that. That would be handy. Let's give these a shuffle. So I'm not showing you all of one suit, hopefully. I'll give it one rifle just to get a better mix. Oh, they shuffle nice, even for a smaller deck. So, but I feel like because the artwork is so dark, the borders kind of give it that just touch of brightness. I do think it would look cool with black borders or borderless, but I don't think I mind the borders on this one. And again, because it is already a smaller deck, oh, I love that Ace of Cups. And I haven't spent hardly any time with this deck at all. I've like barely flipped through it, and just to get an idea of what it looked like. So I'm actually really excited to spend some time getting to know it and seeing how it reads. This is like fun Halloween vibes for me, which is why I saved it for this particular week, because we are of course have Halloween hitting in the upcoming week and Samhain, and this just feels really fun and festive in that kind of playful way, and I'm excited to see how it works out. What was I gonna say? The artwork feels very Rider-Waite-Smith clone. So we'll see if there are a lot of artistic differences and decisions made that take it away from Rider-Waite, but I'm really curious about playing with it. I know I'm like looking at it more than I'm showing it. It's terrible, but I'm having my moment. Anyway, I will enjoy playing with this, I think, and I will report back on how it actually reads and how it works out. You may see this deck pop up on my Instagram feed over the coming week as I do my like daily draws and things like that. Sometimes I share those. Most of the time I share challenge posts on Instagram rather than my regular daily draws. And I've been a little bit lax this past month on the Instagram tarot challenge that I'm on, sort of loosely following. But if I get to any of those, you will see this show up on my Instagram. And otherwise, you will hear me talk about this deck in next weekend's weekly deck review, and I'll definitely share with you how it worked out. I think it's going to be really fun to use this next to the Halloween Oracle. It's like the Halloween Tarot and the Halloween Oracle. It's like a match made in heaven. Maybe. We'll see. The reading cloth I'm going to be playing with this week is a really fun one. So this one has like little scrying balls and skulls and black cats and a palm and spider and a moon. But what's cool about this one is that if you leave this out in the light and then let it sit and charge, it glows in the dark. And like these really cool elements glow in the dark. Like the cat's eyes will glow in the dark, and like a couple of other elements on here. And so it's not the whole thing or anything, it's just certain spots, and it just looks really cool. So I'm gonna let this one charge so that hopefully I'll be able to see that at night. But I thought that would be fun for Halloween week. So that is the reading cloth I'm gonna be working with. It's got this like fun sort of graffiti text fabric on the back, which I think is really cool. But let's face it, I'm probably going to be using this side unless my cards blend too much, and then I'll flip it over. We'll see. We'll see how it works out. But yes, that is what I'm going to be working with this week. As always, I would love to hear what you're going to be working with next week. What are you playing with at the moment? What have you been loving? What have you been maybe not getting on well with? Have there been any surprises for you lately? Let me know. Continue the conversation down below. Don't forget to click the little like button and subscribe and hit the bell to be notified of all my future videos, and I will see you all again very, very soon.